myself. I'm Krista Finch. I am Nanny's, well, all of Tetford's granddaughter, the one from the Cayman Islands. I would like to first welcome everyone here today to celebrate the amazing life of my grandmother, Olive Tetford. We all know Nanny's attitude was one of jolly jolly, so today we plan to honor her love, her spirit with love, happiness, fun, and laughter. So with all the teachers in the family, we want to make this as interactive as possible of an afternoon. So we have planned to include multiple opportunities for everyone to participate and share their memories of Olive. So we had some extra fun last night starting the process, and we hope that you guys can join us for the rest of it. As for the agenda, after I speak, we'll have Janet who'll read a poem, and then Kelly will say some words. And then I'll read some thoughts from David McKinnon. And finally, we'll invite everybody or anybody to come up and say a few words or sing a song if they're so inspired, or however you want to share. Not mandatory, but encouraged. So Nanny loved stories. So the room, we've tried to arrange it so it's like a story walk with multiple areas of memories that are set up. So we invite you to share your memories of Olive at these different locations around the room. I'm trying not to get in front of the speaker. So there's various pictures and photo albums spread around the room. We have a map on the wall over here where we've tried to locate all of the places she's been, but we want you to check and make sure that we got all the places. And if you've heard a story of a place that we've missed, please add it. We have her obituary here on the table honoring her life. We've started Nanny quotes, which created quite a few laughs last night. And we encourage you to read them and to add your own, because Nanny always had a great way of saying things. You will see her quilt creations around the room, and her famous bread recipe is also here available for the taking. But then the family, of course, gets first samples, and we will analyze it and give feedback. We've also started a top 10 things. We'll save that one for later, the top 10 things that Nanny may say at the pearly gates. So until we reveal those top 10, you can think about what she may say when she was at the pearly gates. There's a book to be signed. You can write a story, a memory, a thought, or you can just leave your name. We also, as many of you have already discovered, we have coffee, tea, eats and sweets are available. And we've included some French macaroons direct from Paris, because we know Nanny's international love. So then, for me, preparing for this day was both heartbreaking as well as delightful. The flood of Nanny memories made me realize just how much of an influence she's had on my life. And I'm sorry if I don't maintain that happy, happy, jolly, jolly. She was an inspirational figure in many ways. My youngest memories often include stories from my mother, who would talk about her inspiring spirit and her owning her store. One story my mom told me was when she first moved to Ontario and she called home sad and lonely. And Papa would say, "Oh, you come home to me, Biddy, you come home." And then Nanny would get on the phone and she would say, "How do you think the West was won?" And that was it. She had to do it. So she gave us all strength to take a chance and to succeed with these new things. So hearing her adventure stories over the years had led me to want to see and travel the world. I was the only kid in Halliburton who knew what a boomerang was, let alone had my own. I felt very worldly in my small town, even if that boomerang became a stick that I'd have to run from my big brother Alan. But anyway, when I finished university, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I did know that I wanted to see the koala bears and kangaroos that Nanny had talked about. So my plans for Teachers College led me to Australia. Later, when I was teaching in London, England, Nanny showed up for a visit on one of her adventurous forays. She took me to Harrods and to Liberty, and we explored fine fabrics, of course. And then I found myself in my recent trips bringing home swaths of fabric with lots of plans for all these sewing creations that I'm going to be making. So I think Nanny would be pleased. So Nanny showed me the courage to be adventurous with both travels and ideas. I've often told the story of my grandmother forging her husband's signature to buy a boat with Brian and Adobe. A modern, independent woman before the world was ready for one. She led her life by example and with a zest for living that you don't always find. Having lost my own mother at 16, Nanny also became a maternal figure. I tried to disassociate myself from anything that would remind me of my mother and the sadness that it would evoke. Nanny would have none of that. She called me religiously, told me stories about the family and friends, and asked me questions about my life, no matter how hard it was for her to be reminded of her own lost daughter. When I was a snotty teen, when I was a starving student, when I was a wayward traveler, she always asked me when I was coming home. She made me feel Cape Breton was a home waiting for me, even when I felt I had no direction or support. So of all the gifts that Nanny gave me, both real and inspired, the best gift that she ever gave me was the relationship with all of you, my aunts and uncles, my cousins, and friends. She made sure I felt welcome and was included in the family. I will miss her immensely, but I know that her spirit lives on with all of us. So, that wasn't very happy, but I would like to